Fargo into a walking and public transport friendly community so we can be healthy and do errands at the same time. We were exercising, walking with families and to and from work. This is really interesting. I mean, I hear a lot of this about the idea of having a walkable community that they're able to walk not only for recreational purposes, but they can maybe go to work, that they can maybe go to destinations. And I think it's pretty telling what some of the important issues are for the city. One here, I would like to see a more aggressive approach to making Fargo a bicycle-friendly community. And we've heard a lot of discussion about that, of having bike facilities, on-road facilities. Another one here, Smart Grid would provide Fargoans with an incentive to create local, clean, renewable power and keep the money here. So there's a lot of neat ideas that have been posted, a lot of neat comments that have been posted. And this just gives you a general sense of some of the things that we've heard. And again, again, I don't want to be talking up here the whole time. I'd like to maybe spend a few minutes and hear from some of you that did attend the public meetings and talk about some of the things that you've actually heard. Maybe Mike, we could start with you.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. I think that's a good recap for up to now. I'd really like these word collages because it kind of just ranks those important things. And community, you know, we've been getting great ratings for our area lately. Just lately, a Gallup poll came out and said Hawaii and North Dakota are the two top states for well-being. And, you know, there's diverse. I mean, you know, Hawaii is just tropical, and here we have challenges with seasons. But in those top 10 cities, 8 out of those 10 were four-season cities. So what is it that makes Fargo stand out? And I think community really hits the nail on the head, and it doesn't surprise me to see such a big focus on that. So I think people from around the nation, you know, for a long time, North Dakota had been losing people, and our goal had been to be, you know, we know that we get people from North Dakota coming to our area, but now we're starting to get people from the nation and the world, and that's important to continue to grow and in a diverse and culturally diverse way. So our economy is one thing, but I think the way we treat each other is the most important. Again, you know, I'm not very surprised at this. The Metropolitan Facilities Study in 2005 identified a lot of these same things as far as walkability, bikeability, neighborhoods that you can walk to work or school or to the grocery store. So I think that we need to listen, and I think we've got the goals, so now we need to identify the strategies to reach them.
Don't be shy. Anybody else got some comments or input in terms of the public meeting that was held? I know Dave and John, you guys were at the public meeting. I'm just kind of curious from your sense what you heard the public talk about. The reason I want to bring that up and have that discussion is that we're going to go into the vision document, and we want to make sure that the vision document, the guiding principles, are really reflective of the comments and input that we've heard today.
What do you see when you see that word system?
What that particular clause is representing is based on all the comments that we heard from citizens, both at the public meeting.
I know that, but I'm wondering what the word system defines.
Well, I think it probably defines a whole series of things. For example, we've got a transportation system, our infrastructure system, maybe our health and wellness systems. There's a lot of different. Excuse me. Yes, that would be one, certainly. Well, if there aren't any comments, I'll just go ahead and move into the vision statement. No, Dave, go ahead.
No, I just think for us government people, we talk all the time too much, and so I would like to hear the people from the different walks of life and different entities to speak. To me, that's why I'm here, more so to, I mean, Mike and I, we hear each other talk too much, I think, and so it'd be good to hear the other people.
Just like a husband and wife, you know. He can recite everything I say. No.
If that's okay, not to put anybody on the spot, but and then just to talk about the radio thing, thank you so much for launching my career, Jim. But actually, I want to thank Jim and Bruce Grubb, because it was a last-minute thing. They asked if I would fill in, and it was just an opportunity to kind of spread the good word about all the things that are going on. And so that's Thank you very much it was a last-minute thing, and it was probably the shortest career ever in talk shows, so that's all right. But that's what happened, and thank you very much for the staff for participating. And if it happens again, I mean, we have so many good stories going on in Fargo that are going on for everybody, and to be able to spread the word. Sometimes we don't do that enough, I believe, and so that's why I jumped at the opportunity.
Stephen, Zach, can you hear us?
We can hear you now. Can you hear us?
Okay, yeah, we can. It's not really loud, but we can hear you. That's good. Any observations on your part, Stephen or Zach, about the public input before we go into the vision statement?
Jim, can you repeat that?
I was curious if there's any reaction or comment from you about the public input that we've heard to date before we go into the vision statement portion.
Sure. And we were, just an anecdote, we were watching all of this, but we were on about a 30-second delay. So anytime we got asked a question, but I think we're caught up to speed. I think what we've been most impressed by really is the amount of participation that you're getting on the Mind Mixer tool, and you touched on that. But I think it's hard to overstate how different and important this is in the way that this plan is moving forward, and probably all plans as technology continues to improve. This is a level of participation that hasn't happened in planning ever before. And Fargo's really on the cutting edge of that, and I think that's exciting. It'll be a challenge because there are more ideas than ever before, and we'll really be leaning on the steering committee to help us make sure that the ideas that make the final cut are in fact the best ideas.
Yeah, I think that's some great comment. I know from my own personal observations, especially with the Mind Mixer tool, I'm somewhat, I'm really excited about the involvement and a lot of the ideas. Some of those I think are probably a little far-reaching, and I want to make sure, and I think that this particular body will be able to do that, to make sure it's something that has some balance and some base in terms of what really could be put together for the city of Fargo. And so that's something I think it's very important to kind of look at maybe some of those really kind of out there ideas and how can we pull from that and actually have something that's maybe a little more grounded, fits in with what is going on with the city of Fargo in terms of our systems that are in place, and have something that makes sense moving forward to 2030. With that, what's in front of you right now or on the screen is the vision statement that was put together by the consultant team based on the input that we've heard to date, discussions with staff. And that vision statement, in 2030, Fargo will be a vibrant and sustainable city with a high quality of life, diverse economy, and welcoming community spirit. And really what we're interested from the steering committee is are we on track? I don't want to rewrite this with the group today, but we want to make sure that this seems to be something that makes sense to this particular committee, that it is in fact something that we've heard from the citizens to this point. And again, we want to make sure it is based in something that I think that this group can be comfortable with moving forward. And so with that, I'm just going to open it up. And really what I'm looking for here is, do you think this is on track? Is it maybe got a word that is missing? Is there something about it you like or don't like? And we'll just start from there.
Can I think it's a great opening vision statement. And could I ask a question, Jim? I love the Mind Mixer, and I hope we can keep it going, because I love what you might think is far out or something that's outside of the box. I think those are great things, and I hope, I mean, for us as city government, that's an important thing, to have people that think outside the box and for looking, whatever, 50 or 100 years from now. Is that a possibility to keep this going and maybe tie it into the city website in the future?
You know, that's a great comment. It was actually one of our speakers, Thomas Fisher, that talked about that. He actually said the end product, the comprehensive plan, when this thing is all said and done, is really not, in his opinion, not the goal. It was the fact that we were having this conversation, and in his opinion, he actually said it would probably be better off if you never finished the plan. You just continue to have conversation. It's that dialogue, that's the interaction, that's what's really important, that keeps people involved. And so I think that's exactly right. So what I'm hearing you say is maybe have something in the vision statement that reflects that. There's an ongoing conversation.
Well, that's true, but if possible, I would like it to continue. And the other thing is, I love the speakers. A lot of them were not necessarily views that I enjoy, but I love having people come and speak about things that I have a different opinion, and I just think you learn a lot by it. Instead of hearing somebody come and talk and tell you you're great and that you're smart, that doesn't add to your view. I love having people from different experiences, so and I'm going to quit talking now. I apologize. I was telling you how great it was to have other people talk, but I just think it's a good thing to have different views. Thanks, Jim.
Sean?
I don't know, Jim, whether this has anything to do with the vision statement, but more than any other single thing at that first public meeting that we had, and we've got the steering committee, and I understand that, was the diversity of the people who were there, and so many young people. And I'm wondering in this process, if we have followed up effectively, not by adding them, say, to the steering committee, but to keep the young people who were in such great numbers in that first meeting involved, because they represent, we're talking about the comprehensive plan for the future. They are the future, and I think we need, almost more than any of the rest of us, to listen to what those young people said in such great abundance in those early meetings.
Yeah, that's a great observation. We actually have invited 3 high school students to be on this committee. Unfortunately, today's the first day of class, and they weren't able to attend this particular session, but we will have them with us. So what I'm hearing you say is that we had lots of diversity, a lot of young, energetic young folks, and maybe figuring out some way to kind of tie that into the vision statement. John?
Jim, the last thing I know you want to do is start wordsmithing this, and I don't want to open up anything that will keep us from moving forward efficiently and quickly. Vision statements almost always have an element of description to each of their components, and they have an element of aspiration or emotion to each one of their components. And this follows that plan exactly, with one small thing. You talk about the city with a high quality of life, so that's aspirational and descriptive. A diverse economy, which is only descriptive, and a welcoming community atmosphere, which is aspirational and descriptive. So I'd suggest something that would take the diverse economy and add a word like robust.
Add that aspirational component.
So that's just a suggestion, and again, wordsmithing is going to get us about 9 hours down the road, but that's just a suggestion that I'd have.
Other comments, maybe from the other side of the table?
Dan?
Yeah, Dan, feel free.
Well, mine was more of a response to Commissioner Pepcorn's comment. You know, some of the work or the activity that's been happening on that website, what's so great about it is those are, I mean, it adds to this idea that some of the best ideas in our community are coming from our community, inside of our community. And so we've actually been working on a website that's kind of solutions-based. It's like, we call it a solutions website with Dakota Medical and the Impact Foundation, where we want to take what we're doing on